Hey y'all, guess who's back? It is Kimberly and Bishop Marvin C. Bozeman.
I'm here by the grace of God.
Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes,
what a wonderful Friday it is.
Yes, it is.
Amen.
It's Friday.
Friday and Friday.
Yes, the end of the work week.
End of the work week.
It's so good to be here, and it's even better to have you here.
It's good to be alive and kicking and poking and flicking. I'm just happy to be
and
here.
Everything like that. Well, you are listening to a Go Chip Communication Foundation station. We are on 98.5 FM, WSAX. We are also on Facebook, TTL, and also YouTube at TTL-KB. But we are back. You know, we've been talking about relationships and everything. But before we delve into that, Bishop, it has been a hard 2 weeks.
It's been a rough 2 weeks.
Last week, I was sick.
Yes.
You know,
for sure.
And I think a virus is definitely just going around.
Yeah, it's hitting everybody.
Yeah.
You know, everybody but me.
Well, praise the Lord.
That's what happened when you filled with the Holy Ghost. And then,
hold up. Wait a minute.
Something else was lacking in other people's lives. I'm just trying to say.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You got to come right if you're coming.
I'm just telling you.
You hear what I say? You got to come right if you're coming. Because I know I'm filled with the Holy Ghost, honey.
Yeah.
That we shall not escape the vicissitudes of this world.
We don't want to do that.
While we're in this world.
I got you.
But we have a greater one within.
Yes.
That'll be with us.
Exactly.
I'd rather go through with him than without him.
I feel you.
But no, seriously, I was sick last week, you know, but I thank God for natural remedies. You know, I love me
You've been working.
And listen,
you've been working.
I love me some ginger and some lemon and some oregano oil.
Yes. You've been doing it all.
Yes.
And you're coming through. So, hey, you look much better. You don't look like what you've been through, but we're glad you're here.
And I'm glad to be here. I can talk this week.
I see that. I can hear you.
But listen, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
Yay. Yes. So he went through this week.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I won't even say the whole week. You know what I mean? And he's here.
I'm here and excited.
And in his right mind, because y'all yesterday he wasn't.
Watch yourself.
He had just a little bit of anesthesia. You know, me and William, we kind of had fun with him.
I get y'all back. For sure.
It's all good. You know what? We could probably make some money.
That's true.
We can probably make some money.
I'm gonna have to watch it all. There's something else that you didn't show me, or
no.
some unedited clips, or what?
Hey, I won't tell.
I need to check that out.
Good morning. Mary is here today. And as you all come in, go ahead and hit like and share. Hit like and share because we have a hot topic today.
Yes.
Which is betrayal a deal breaker?
Is betrayal a deal breaker? So what a wonderful topic. What a wonderful show. And I'm happy to be on your show today. Mm-hmm. But tell me a little bit about your business or your profession. What is it that you do?
Well, I am a licensed professional clinical counselor supervisor.
My Lord, that's a whole lot. Wife, first lady, grandma. Can we go on?
All that to just say I'm able to diagnose, to assess, diagnose, and treat.
Gotcha.
And I treat a little bit of everybody.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Relationships, of course, individuals, children. So
healthy emotes. That's it, huh?
Healthy emotes. Man, that's it. That's IT. Already. And this show is actually underwritten by Healthy Emotes.
All right. So hey, Healthy Emotes.
Hi. So we do have a hot topic today. Yeah. For the month of February, we've been talking about relationships. Right. And we've delved into so many aspects of relationships. We did determine that the word relationship is just how we relate to one another.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a good question to always propose. How are we relating to each other? Is this a healthy dynamic or is this dysfunctional?
Exactly.
And if it's dysfunctional, we need to do something about
if
that.
If it's a dysfunctional one, then it stems from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you have to do some digging, and some honesty has to be put out there on the table in order to resolve that. So it doesn't occur all the time.
And as I always say, that relationships, especially if you're a believer, relationships take four.
Yeah.
You,
yeah,
your inner child, your mate, their inner child,
for sure,
and God.
For sure.
Because I'm telling you, if you have a wounded inner child, that's I'm sorry, it takes 5.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm like, did you say 4 or 5? But it's okay.
Yes. Sorry, you guys.
I know what elementary school you went to, though, so it's okay.
Oh.
We'll get back on. That's the second one I got in, but we'll keep
jokes.
Moving. It's not really me because I'm still under, I got
medication. You just going to use the opportunity.
Because I'm feeling something right now. So we better hurry and get through the show.
Y'all praying. So relationships take 5. You, your inner child, your partner, their inner child, plus God. Yeah. And if your inner child has been wounded and you have not taken time to heal yourself, to heal this inner child will possibly run and ruin your relationship.
For sure. For a very long time. Very long time. Yeah.
I was talking to one couple, and they were saying that, when the spouse gets upset, they just go in the room, close the door, and stay in there for a while.
Yeah.
This is the same behavior they had as a child.
Yeah.
The same behavior. So our inner child, although we can't see it, the inner child is alive and well.
For sure.
Is alive and well. So also in talking to relationships, oftentimes when they come in, they have issues related to lack of finances. Communication styles are different. But when they come for betrayal, oh my goodness, it is totally different.
Yeah. Wigs come off, earrings come out, fingernails get to popping,
and sometimes I feel like I'm an actual referee.
I got you.
Because there's so much pain.
When
sure. Because you have betrayal is just like a violation of your trust.
Yeah. And it is. It's just that. It's just that. So that has been broken. So it is repairable. It can be fixed. But whether or not if that other party is willing to do that, is really up to them. It can be, it has been, because you do things for different reasons at different phases and times of your life. You know what I mean? So forgiveness is a main, point of reference in all of our relationships, but how, because you can forgive without being in that relationship with that person. You'll forgive them.
Yeah.
But we just can't be together. I
can't
open myself. Then you have to be careful not to treat everyone else the same if you decide to get into another relationship. If we're talking about a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife relationship or whatever, you have to be careful. Business relationship, they give you, a little bit of foresight of what to look out for, things of that nature, betrayal in business, and it just goes on and on. So,
and we will definitely, because forgiveness, which we are going to get to, but I usually recommend not to forgive too fast, because I need for them to sit with what has happened. And what happens oftentimes is that, people apologize, but then we really have not delved into what actually happened here.
Right.
And I would like to say good morning to Mary and Correa and Nadine and Camille. You guys, thank you for coming in. Feel free to chime in. When you come in, please hit like and share. Correa says, what do you say to the person who has broken the trust, that is angry the other party hasn't forgiven yet? This is your fault. This is what you created. You created this monster. Now you have to deal with it, and you have to have patience. It's like, because you can't actually see the physical wound. It's like, okay, hurry up and get over. But really, you just stabbed this person. You just cut this person in so many places. And because you apologize, now you feel like they're supposed to get over it and be healed and go on. It does not work like
Yeah,
that.
and it depends on the circumstances, because if I'm sure if the one that's been you know betrayed, if they have another place to go to, they probably would.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing like being betrayed and y'all still in the same space.
Yeah, it takes
I got to see you every day and,
yes,
and breathe the same
because
oxygen
you're gonna
breathing.
look, if we're gonna work it out, if we plan on staying together, you're gonna see this pain.
Yeah,
I am not
you're
letting
gonna
you
see
off the
it,
hook.
you're gonna hear with every door that closed, every cabinet that slams.
You're gonna hear that for a little while.
Don't eat. If they fix your meal, don't eat that meal. Just bring something home or eat someplace else.
That is not true. Now, anger does not always operate like
food,
that.
I'm telling
and sometimes they're so hurt to the point where they don't have strength to slam anything or to cook anything.
I'm just saying, don't eat for a while.
But again, you created this monster. Now you have to deal with it. Good morning. Jill is here today. Good morning. That's a wonderful question, because that happens a lot of times where they feel like they're not getting over it fast enough. Yeah. But as often as the one who is hurting needs to talk about it, you got to make time if you want it to work.
Yeah, if you want it to.
Yes, because first of all, the betrayer must acknowledge the wound. Yeah. You have to acknowledge the wound. It's like David. David went hard. He acknowledged his wound. You know what I mean? He acknowledged the betrayal. He opened up. He had a whole conversation with God. You know what I mean? Healing cannot begin until you admit that there was a problem. Yeah. Period. Sure.
So what about those who just, some would say they don't know how to apologize. So they'll just be in your presence without saying, I apologize, or I'm sorry, or please forgive me. But they'll just keep going on like everything is everything. And you're waiting for you owe me something.
You do. Because I know you knew how to open up your mouth and talk to that other woman or that other man. Don't get quiet when it comes to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, you got to open up your mouth and you have to communicate. You have to express that your sorrow.
Yeah. And that betrayal, it's not always about male and female relationship. It's the mistrust in that type of form of relationship, finances. I mean, we can go down and see where the mistrust is at, or or the distrust is at. So, it's just not in that aspect. So we could be in a wonderful relationship, but I'm hiding something from you as far as finances. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or I took a whole lot out of the account, didn't let you know, and here you are trying to get something in cash.
Exactly.
And I didn't communicate that to you.
That's right. And it's going to build distrust.
It's going to build
it. It really is. So we have to learn how to communicate effectively. Yeah. So number one is you. Good morning. Angela's here. Grand rising to you also. Number one, we have to acknowledge the wound. You have to see the wound, acknowledge the wound. I'm so sorry. I see how much that it has hurt you. And Lord knows I never intended. You just really have to be remorseful. Yeah. Okay. So and I want to get you all's ideas and what your thoughts are. Is betrayal a deal breaker? Would it be a deal breaker for you? Yeah. And why? So y'all talk to us this morning. All right. So we know that betrayal hurts because it breaks the emotional safety. Yeah. Now you have a lot of work to do, not just as far as rebuilding the communication, but now I'm emotionally and psychologically wounded. Yeah. And to Correa's point, suppression of pain, it becomes bitterness. So if someone hurts someone else, but then they don't want the other person talking about it, this person is already hurting, which is going to cause them to shut down and isolate. Right. Now they're growing roots of bitterness, and we cannot reconcile like that. Right. Yeah. Jill says, yes, acknowledge and be honest. Once one may be able to be forgiven if honesty and they are truly sorry and they need to know why they cheated yes, we have to know the why, what happened, so it does not happen again.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and listen, there's no right or wrong answer here, because betrayal is definitely a deal breaker for some people.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's okay. You know,
Because it's trust. It's trust. You know what I mean? So as I stated before, even in business, I can't trust you with finances. You
mm-hmm,
know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So I can't trust you to do other things, period. So it's such a vast area in which betrayal involves the human interconnection with each other. It's
mm-hmm,
relationship. And
mm-hmm,
once you break that, you're sort of breaking the bond or the agreement. Really, it's a contractual
mm-hmm.
thing that or statement that's being made between two or more than
Yeah,
two adults.
yeah. And what
Help me.
you're fine. And what are your thoughts, Bishop, as far as is one worse than the other when it comes to I just cheated with them emotionally, versus physically? Do
Yeah.
you feel like it's the same distrust, or what are your thoughts? And
It,
what are you all's thoughts?
it's definitely the same. Whoever that is because you're still being dishonest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So whether it's physical or emotional, you didn't come to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's still that distrust there. So I would say that it is equal. It is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I often hear that, well, we weren't intimate.
Yeah.
They just come to me and they confide in me and we talk, and
It's
I
it's
have
on
someone to
its
go
it's on
to.
its way somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's on its way somewhere. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Depending on who you're talking to, but it's traveling somewhere.
Right, right,
Somewhere it's emotional to physical.
right.
It's going to
Yes.
end up somewhere. You know.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that,
Yeah.
because you become more and more vulnerable
Yeah.
and transparent to that
Exactly.
person. You
Hmm.
begin to open up more. Now you can
Hmm.
trust them emotionally. And that's a lot for
Yeah.
women too,
Yeah.
because we're more emotional people. So we can
Yeah.
find someone who can nurture our psyche, or
Hmm.
nurture our emotions, that basically they have us.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So you're absolutely right
Hmm.
on that. Correa says this may be a question you'll answer later, but for the person healing, is it possible to be healed but still come across instances of grief from the past situation, even years later after you've forgiven? So we understand that forgiveness is two-part. We can
Hmm.
forgive, and this is where we release the intense emotions from the pain. We let go of the anger.
Hmm.
We let go of the bitterness. We let go of the hurt. We have foregone all of that
Yeah.
in an attempt to go forward. Now, I'm not saying that you won't ever get triggered, though.
Yeah. It's still a touchy area.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how many, like having surgery on my back, they say it's healed, but every now and again, I'm like, oh man, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It's still touching. Then it depends on how deep the wound is.
Yes, but you
You
know,
know?
you know you have not forgiven if you keep going back to that person years later and you're bringing it up.
Oh,
Even
for
if
sure.
even if you're
Yeah.
triggered, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Because you've already dealt with it.
Yeah.
You've already put the work in, so you know where it's coming from.
Hmm.
But to go back to that individual again and say, hey, you remember 2 years ago
Yeah.
and you had that affair,
Yeah.
you haven't forgiven. You
Yeah.
just haven't forgiven.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It takes a lot of time.
It does take time.
Yeah.
Jill says, that's out of order. If you can share with the opposite sex, you will get attached
For
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Because women are very emotional and men are more
Hmm.
visual.
Hmm.
Be careful. Woo, she says, that's
That's
thin
true.
ice. I say, that's a slippery slope. You right
That's
about
right.
it. You got to
Yeah.
steer clear and
Yeah.
keep yourself safe. But
Yeah.
there is a reason why you feel like you cannot go to your partner
Hmm.
with your concerns.
Hmm.
And that has to be worked out.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
reason for
Yeah.
that.
Could be embarrassment. Um, you're not looked at as you thought they viewed you or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. I can't tell them this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many different things.
Do I feel safe with does my partner make me feel safe when I'm in a vulnerable state?
Yeah.
Can I carry my true emotions to them, or do I feel like I have to mask that?
Right. Yeah. And that's the growth in your relationship. You know, you don't start out like that because you're both learning trust within each other. You know what I mean? What areas can I push the envelope in, so to speak? You know, how far can I trust you with whatever? And you're expecting that same to come back to you. But man, it's a place of learning and growing and maturing. All of that turns into trusting.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a while for that to
happen. It's
happen.
going to take a while. And
I can't trust you like that in 2 weeks.
No, you cannot. And this is why friendship is so important, because friends are someone that you can talk to about any and everything. You know, you can trust them. Gray says, I think it's the same, but for women that cheat emotionally, I feel it's a stronger feeling because you begin to compare and have thoughts that can sabotage the strength of the relationship besides trust issues. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I concur. Angela says, if you have not forgiven your offender, it will manifest in new relationships.
For sure.
As I always say,
won't be no new relationship. That's true.
I tell you what, it'll be a quick relationship.
It'll be a fast one.
Yes, absolutely. Because whatever you don't address, you give permission to exist. Yeah. And if you haven't healed from your emotional wounds, you're carrying that from one to another. And it's not fair to the new person that you meet. You're bringing to them a big bag of trash. You are. You're bringing trash into your new relationship. Now you want them to sort through this big bag. Like, what did I do? You know, why can't you trust me? Why are you keeping tabs on me? You know, why you have trust issues and I can't go to the store and be gone for 5 minutes and you're just calling me off the hook. That's because of past hurt.
And I mean, look at the way we're having this conversation today. It's because of, number one, our age. We've lived a little bit of life and we know what we're not going to tolerate at this point in our life. Now, if you caught us maybe, 20, 30 more years back the other way, we were making decisions that weren't as bright as they are now because we were looking for something else. We wanted something else. Now we're at the age now you say, hey, I know what I want. I know what I'm worth, and I know what I'm not going to tolerate.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like that when you was in your 20s. Well, you could have, but you were bamboozled a little easier.
I don't think that's everybody's testimony.
No, not everybody, but I'm just saying,
I'm just saying for me, I don't think I was ever that girl because I never tolerated. I always had standards as far as if I'm going to be in a relationship with someone, you know what I mean? I don't want, I'm
not saying you wanted it. I'm not, but you may have, maybe you did not. You tolerated to some degree until you've gotten older and wiser. If not,
then you can be bamboozled in relationships too, where
because you're learning and you're wiser now. Now you know what to look for, and what's the red, what they call them,
red flags.
Stuff like that. I mean,
definitely have your lessons learned because what happens a lot of time in relationships is perhaps one haven't actually let go of the relationship that they were in, and
you can become so sexually attached to someone where they can just come and say, I'm sorry, and that's it. You know what I mean? Because it's more than just, it's the sex. Some people will stay because I'll stay because the sex was good.
Exactly. You get,
he made me feel this way or she made me feel this way. So now you're at a different place in life. You got to bring something more to the table than sex.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But
you know better now.
But then you get hooked on the sex because now you got soul ties And it's not so easy to get out of a relationship like that.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, sometimes relationships can be a cool breeze getting into and like a hurricane of consequences getting out of it.
That old make up to break up, break up to make up. Is that what it is? Break up to make up, break up to make up.
Make up to break up.
Make up. No, break up to make up.
Oh.
Is that the song? You break up to make up? Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway. But now you're older and wiser, so you live under a different standard now. You had standards then, but you was letting that emotional side do most of the driving for you. That feeling, you know what I mean? It would think for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Until you came to the point where you say, I'm worth more than this.
Yeah, because not saying you didn't have any standards. You had those, but you had this feeling that topped the standards that you had. You still had them. You're like, I ain't doing this no more.
Right. Yeah.
But you do, you know.
And again, soul ties is a real thing. There are spiritual implications when you're intimate with others.
For sure.
There's spiritual, and I don't care how much you want to get out of it mentally, something's got a hold of you. Exactly. Something's got a hold. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Jill says relationship can start out to look one way, then a total shift in that person comes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's true.
Girl.
That's true.
And you wonder where this person came from.
Yeah.
It's like they
sitting back over there in the corner waiting. No, just with a hood on.
They start peeling that mask off. You know what I mean? Because they get you to a place where they want you. Yeah. You know what I mean? They condition you or whatever. And when they feel comfortable, they get to peeling that mask off and you're like, OMG.
It's like you have to slow your roll when you're getting into relationships with the opposite sex and you're looking maybe forward to dating. You know, you can't give up the honey all that quick, fast and all that. If you're going to be a believer about it, let's stick to what scripture admonishes that we do. But sometimes we may want the same thing and get beat by the other person.
Right. Yeah. So true.
You know what I mean? You just have to be careful in that. Now that we're older and we know better, hey, let me slow this down a little bit. What am I rushing for?
Because you want to move forward with wisdom, because
you have to.
You should have a big bag of lessons learned.
For sure.
You don't want to keep drawing the same, making the same mistakes, drawing the same type of people
for sure.
to you. You know?
That's true.
So again, is betrayal a deal breaker?
It's a deal breaker, y'all. Is it a deal breaker? Come on, did I say yes or no on here yet? It's the deal breaker.
Yep. And I want to know why, if it is, or why it is not. So number one, we want to acknowledge the wound. The betrayer must acknowledge the damage. That how can you repair it? And you don't even acknowledge it. You don't even see it, and you want to shut the other person down. That means that we don't need to be together. We don't even need to try.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we have to definitely, as we discussed before, guard our heart from bitterness. If you plan on repairing this relationship, we have to guard our heart from bitterness. It's one of the most dangerous responses of betrayal.
For sure.
One of the most dangerous, because then all of that anger and that resentment and that hatred and your mind is just going and you can't turn it off. So we must guard our heart. We acknowledge what has happened here. So one of the things that I do want to interject, though, is not to be so fast to determine if I'm going to go or if I'm going to stay.
I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, because we need to sit with what has happened.
Yeah.
It's like, when people are very depressed or they've been traumatized, we're like, don't make any major decisions right now.
Yeah, for sure.
The same thing when betrayal, especially if you have a family, you have children, we just need to sit with what has happened. It goes back to my acronym ASK. Radically accept what has happened. Sit with it. Sit with it and process it for a while. Again, what just happened here? What is the cause of this? What is it worth if we do leave each other? You need to sit and process it. And then you can do the K, which is keep it moving.
Especially if you're a believer and you're going to live by the principles and standards of the word. And this one may have betrayed in that area, but you still have your part to uphold, right? So you have too many variables in this. You have you have children, you have finances, you have a mortgage, you have, for you to just say, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You better sit and it might be a little, you got to sit there and think about it and be ready to forgive. Now that's work that you have to do.
Yeah.
Am I going to forgive this person? Because you want to know why. Well, it was something that I answered some of my questions. Something I wasn't doing for you. Something I wasn't giving you.
Right.
What happened? It may not be you in there at all. It's just like I got caught up.
But we do want to process it though.
You have to. Yeah, you can't make that major.
We just don't want to function from our emotional mind. That's a one-way road towards disaster.
For sure.
We spoke sometimes in our sessions before about functioning with your wise mind. This is when you want to honor your emotions, honor your pain, but you don't want to function from that part.
We have more options available to us now, or more outs that we have available to us now than we did years ago. Women and some men, they just kind of went with. And I was about to say, hey, you need to find a little safety in, your parents or their parents, your grandparents, and go back. And if you're doing a relationship from that aspect, because the women back then, they took a whole lot, and I think they did because number one, socially and, community wise, you were deemed as being your wife, and the man's supposed to have this hierarchy over you where he can go out and be with Susie Jane and still come back home or be with Jane. You and have another family across town.
Yeah.
So now we have more outs, things that, you don't have to take. You maybe didn't like it then, but you roll with it because he the breadwinner. He do go out and make the money and bring it back home. We don't have to want, but there's a whole lot of outs out there now, but we have to be willing to go through the storm a little bit.
A little bit, have some type of endurance and stamina.
You just can't say, because this young crowd today, they'll never be in a relationship because one little thing and they out.
Right, exactly.
You got to learn how to stick and stay,
Yeah. And I think society has played a major role in families not staying. Because like you said before, women were more dependent upon the husbands. We stayed home, we took care of the house, and they went And now it's like females today, we like make more money than our counterparts, and we're more independent of them. And I hear so many females say, I don't need no man, and we don't stick and stay, but for the value of the family and for the children, I think that is worth trying to process and do all we can to keep the family together.
Because you may not need one, but you do want one sometimes.
Yeah.
You do want one sometimes.
Every now and again. All right. So some of the symptoms of bitterness is constant replaying of the offense. You just keep going over it. You're ruminating on it. You're stuck on it. And you want to be fair too, because we do expect for the betrayer to sit down and have a conversation with you, but not every 2 seconds.
No.
I mean, the brother got to breathe a little bit. The sister got to breathe a little bit.
Because they're sitting with it too, like, dang, did I really do that?
You just don't want to badger them and beat them upside the head if we're talking about healing the relationship, and then another sign of bitterness is the desire for revenge. I'm going to get back. Now they had an affair. I'm going to go out here and have an affair too. Now you just got a bigger mess. You two need to go on about your business. At this point in juncture,
because you're not mature enough to go through that process and try to get well together.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And then we have to allow God to heal our heart. He does want to heal us, but we feel like, no, I'm a feeler. Some people like sitting with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to be angry.
But you know what? You'll never forget the situation. It will always be there. But as years go by, if you continue on with that person, you'll laugh at it later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was looking at a story of a couple down, I think it was deep south, like Mississippi or whatever, but they were married now for like 70 something years, right? This is just the other day, I kid you not. And the wife brought up, I guess he caught himself sneaking around with another woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just the humor she brought to it.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, you see who he's still with, don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you still remember it, you know, but how in their younger years, they've done some foolish things, but they were able to work it out and be together and, hey, build this wonderful family.
I have seen from my experience in therapy that when couples give it all that they have and they're serious about reconciliation, that the bond is even closer.
For sure.
So it's not like we're really trying to repair what we have. We're starting afresh.
Gotcha.
We're starting afresh now because we know where we went wrong at.
Exactly.
So we're building a stronger foundation and a healthier structure.
I like it.
All right. So Vicky says, I can work with it one time, but if it's a continuous thing where he's not willing to receive help, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yes and amen.
Yeah.
Yes. Because now you're not remorseful.
Yeah.
Now this is like a character flaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I definitely
and we have to be careful what numbers we give it. You know, we say one time. You know, one time might be 2.5. Yeah, it depends on the dynamics. It depends on the age that a person is. Depends on the wisdom that you now have. You know, and how remorseful the brother is. You know, if he is at all.
But everybody has a deal breaker.
I know. I mean, I love her answer.
Yeah,
and I understand exactly what she's saying. You know, but
because if it ain't in you, if you don't have the capacity to continue to forgive,
say one time and then you figure, hey, this is like 10. 10.
Some say.
Then you don't really.
Some say if they do it once, they'll do it again. But then again, that depends on how remorseful and how much work that they're putting in.
Yeah.
Correa says, when does exercising a Jesus type of grace come into play with situations like betrayal, especially in marriages when the covenant is already set? Wow.
That's a word right there. I'm going to let you preach on Sunday. That's good. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver and a kiss.
And a kiss. The audacity. How you gonna betray me and then try to be intimate?
Oh my gosh!
Woo! My Lord!
I mean, you'll find out what type of believer you are. You know what I mean? But then, in terms, remember, forgiveness does not mean that we have to reconcile and we'll be together.
Yes,
I can still forgive you with signing documents.
That's right,
and still forgive
you.
You're
right.
But you know, holla.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So, forgiveness does not necessitate reconciliation.
Yeah.
It's a gateway towards reconciliation if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But forgiveness is necessary for both components.
It's not even said if Jesus, if a section in the Bible where it says he's forgiven Judas. But since he is Jesus, so you know he had to forgive him. But you know, if anybody can show me where
it's Jesus, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's trying to learn how to live that out, and to walk in the principles of God. We know at some point in our life we're going to need forgiveness too.
Yes. You
know what I mean? So we can't be so one-sided. We're definitely going to need it too.
But you're definitely going to need it. Again, we're talking about reconciliation.
Yeah.
So if you want to get back with the partner who has betrayed you, you must forgive. You know, Jesus forgives us on a continuum, and he throws our sins into the sea of what forgetfulness. Not that he has forgotten, but that he's not going to keep bringing it up.
He won't. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He won't continue to bring that up in your face.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we definitely want to try to rebuild the relationship, you know, because betrayal often damages its self-worth.
That's work.
It is work.
Rebuilding is work.
Yes. But we have to make time for the one that is hurting, but also we have to understand where it went wrong. And this is later on down the line where you can, because you really have to be prepared for the conversation.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in those conversations, and you have to be careful not to blame the other one for your actions.
For sure.
Those are actions that you chose.
For sure. Yeah.
You didn't come to your mate or your spouse, and maybe you did, and said, "Hey, you have not been you have not been putting gas in my love tank forever," and I'm like straight dry.
Yeah. Yeah. So the communication part is so necessary, because if you feel like the other one is not, then somewhere along the line you have to say something. So I'm not going to communicate it to her, but I will communicate it to someone else. You know what I mean? So there's a whole lot that's involved in that, because maybe you just don't want to what may hurt that person, or this to come. You know who you're with. Right. Sometimes it may be a little hesitant for you to have the conversation with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the same time, it allows the person that's been betrayed to look at themselves too. Well, maybe I could have been a better, or done this different, or whatever the case may be, because there's no excuse for a person doing, what is it? They can't put it on you. But I'm just saying it takes time for you to look at yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe I could have been a better woman, wife.
And then show me
whatever,
just.
But if it's not communicated, I don't know.
Yeah, and then I think I'm fine. You have to do more than say, "I'm sorry." You really have to show me, and this is like establishing healthy boundaries. And one of the healthy boundaries is not having any communication with the one you cheated with. Yeah. Now, that needs to be erratically. Erase. No communication. They are out of your phone. They are off your social media. And because you have to make your partner feel secure now. And
I believe you have to talk with couples that have been together for a long time, and for them to be honest and transparent with you as far as what things they had to overcome together. And you'll find out a lot of people that you hold in high esteem, they've gone through some of the similar things, but it's how they wrote it out, how they were able to rebuild.
Yeah.
How they were able to rebuild. So you definitely need that. Don't receive advice from single people, because they always tell you, you better run. I wouldn't put up with that. Well, you don't know the circumstances of the whole situation. I just can't run right now.
Yeah.
I just can't leave right now.
You can't run and you can't leave, but the betrayer has to be accountable. They have to be accountable. And then we have to give them an opportunity to show themselves without me asking you questions like, I got you on the tracker. Okay, I saw that you stopped at the gas station. You were there. You were there 20 minutes. Did you hook up with somebody there?
Because that's you now.
Right.
That's you now.
Yeah.
You messing your own self up.
So we have to set emotional distance, be accountable.
I know it takes 5 minutes to go to the store.
Yeah.
And come back.
Right.
You've been gone for 12.
But you started this distrust. I'm building on the distrust, because now I have roots that are planted, in negativity now. Yeah. Seriously, so if we're going to rebuild, you have to really allow your partner to see your phone. Like I said, no communication at all with the one that why would you though? Why would you still be in communication with them?
It's so much about this men and women relationship, that it's still the same old story.
How so?
It's the same story. It's nothing new. We may say what we want until we do. It's just that attraction of male. I don't care how old you are. Male and female attraction is just there. It's supposed to be there. And love is funny.
Yeah.
Relationships is funny. Yes. What you say you won't do, you may end up doing. It's just at that moment.
Right.
But that's the fascinating thing about being in a relationship with the opposite sex, man.
And it's okay. It's okay if it's a deal breaker for you or not. Some people will not tolerate it, while other people will. Sure. And sometimes, like Bishop said, love will make you do some strange things.
Make you come home early, make you stay out all night long. I mean, it's the power of love, or is it lust?
But if you are talking about reconciling, you have to let your expectations be made known on the outset.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
we're going to try this again, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, can
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
hurt me like this again, and we're not even going to
sure.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I always bring up the little when you threw. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I always bring up the little thing of women who pride themselves on being a single parent of 5 children. I'm a single mother trying to make. Well, why are you still a single mother? I mean, what happened? And then you have 4 different babies. That's a whole different story. But I'm just saying, why are you this way?
Well,
Don't pride yourself on I'm a single mother